Okay, sorry about that, you guys. I just wanted to restart it because I don't want it to be glitching. So, welcome back to Real Talk Recovery. Sorry about that, y'all. Tell me if it's glitching, okay? Because I don't want it to be glitchy. Like I said, Joel's going to come on tonight and share his experience, strength, and hope with us. I'm just waiting for him to jump on a live so I can send him an invite. I'm really, really excited to hear his story, y'all. And I'm so proud of how far he's came. When I first met Joel, he said he wanted to work in recovery. And so I said, why don't you become a peer? And he was like, what's that? And I was like, a peer support specialist. He didn't know what it was. Baby, he has signed up and got his certificate and achieved that. And so that's amazing, you know. That's what we're supposed to be doing for each other. We're supposed to be helping each other. We're supposed to be inspiring each other to do better, you know, lifting each other up, helping each other along the way. You know, recovery is not easy, you guys. It's hard to get, okay, so it's easy to get sober, but the hard part is the work that comes after you get sober. The hard part is staying sober, okay? It's not easy. And so we need each other's support. We need each other's love and help and tolerance and patience. We don't need hate from each other in the community. We don't need to look down at each other. You know, we need to be here to lift each other up. We are not all going to get along, and we're all different. But you know what? Like I said before, principles before personalities. So, where is he? Joel, where are you at, man? Joel, did you just come in here? Go live so I can send you an invite. Go live on your account, honey. Yo, Joel, where are you at? I can't see you. You're not live. Did you go live? Go live so I can invite you. That way it'll be split down the middle. Because when I just do it like this and you're a guest, then you're in a little box at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? So go live on your account so I can send you an invite that way. Sorry, y'all. We're friends on here, aren't we? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I follow you. Because the only person I'm seeing is Dizzy that's live. Oh, it says not. What does it say? Huh. Hey, thanks, Amber. We did it earlier on the live stream. It's like the most prettiest. Why can't I see him? This sucks, dude. I guess I'll do it like that. I wanted to do it to where he was a host. There he is. Okay. There he is. I did it like this. A host. Hey.
Sorry.
No, you're okay. You're okay.
I was like, what the hell? I thought she was going to invite me, but then I was like, oh, wait, I have to go live too.
You're completely fine. I totally understand. I'm so excited to have you on, man. I was just telling everybody that you just celebrated 1 year sober, right? And you got your peer certificate, right?
Yeah, I got my peer support specialist certificate. And I had an interview today for a position, actually.
How did it go?
It went really good. I'm pretty sure I pretty much have the job as soon as I can get my license. Because part of the job is like driving to places, giving clients rides, meeting them where they are. You get free zoo passes at the place I work at. It's like because they meet at the zoo. So like I could go to the zoo with like a peer, and like if he has like a husband or a wife and like a kid or something like that, can do that. It's full benefits too, which is pretty sweet. So yeah, hopefully I just gotta get my license back. Technically I can get it back right now, so I just have to go to the DMV and get it all figured out. And hopefully they call me with the for sure, like you're hired. But I think it went well. They liked me.
I'm really proud of you, man. Congratulations. That's huge. That's a
Thank
big
you.
step.
That was all. That's all you. You told me about that. I would have had no idea what that even was if you hadn't told me. Hey, go apply for a peer support specialist. So
I
thanks
got
to
you.
you.
I got you.
Hell yeah.
And I love helping people. No matter, like, if I can give people like suggestions or help them that are already sober, like I love doing that.
Hell
Giving
yeah.
people like ideas, because it's unfortunate I can't do that here in Arkansas, and so
Yeah, that's bullshit.
but like I'm working really hard to try and like bring other ways that we, because I'm a felon, it's hard for me to find a job, so like
Yeah.
working from home and doing stuff through the recovery community is ways that we can all have jobs and we can all make money
Yeah.
and we can help people.
Yeah.
So this is
Shit.
what we're
And
gonna
that
do.
just reminds me, I'm so forgetful. Like that thing you sent me, I still forgot to fill that out. I got to do that after this.
Fill that out and let me know when you're done.
If you can remind me, and I'll fill that out.
Okay, I will.
I keep saying I got to do it, and then I forget.
Well, this is what I
Can
want you to
you hear
do
me
with
okay? Because I have like 2 fans going because I'm always like so hot.
I hear you fine. So listen up.
Okay.
I want you to share with us what your life was like growing up when you were a kid. Then I want you to shift into how you got into using drugs, what it was like while you were using them, maybe something that happened to you that was like significant that you remember, and then share with us like your rock bottom, how you got sober, and what you're doing now to stay sober.
Cool. All right. Sounds good. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Joel. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, born and raised, 30 years old. And yeah, so I grew up in Milwaukee. I had a pretty good childhood, I'd say. Like, I didn't have any trauma. I didn't have any like bad things happen to me. I wasn't like sexually assaulted or anything like that. I have one sister who's 6 years younger than me. We were pretty close growing up. She always looked up to me and stuff like that. I was in a lot of sports growing up. Like I played football, baseball, soccer, and then hockey. I don't know why my parents put me in hockey because they didn't play hockey, but I'm glad they did because I liked it. But it's an expensive sport. You know, you break a stick and it's $220 for a new one.
Wow.
So that
Really?
yeah, that sport can get yeah, like the nice sticks, like the graphite ones, they're about $220, and you get a 30-day warranty, and I would always break it like 30, 31, 32, 33 days or after.
Of course.
But yeah, it was fun. I liked that. Traveling for it and stuff, staying in hotels, so that was cool. And then let's see. Yeah, I had a lot of friends. Like I kind of just hung out with everybody. Everybody kind of liked me. And then like I think it was like 5th grade, my parents told me that we were gonna move, and I was like, shit. Like that gave me a lot of anxiety because I was comfortable where I was. I liked my friends that I had. Like I was comfortable. I'm like, now I'm gonna go out to. We were moving out to Heartland, Wisconsin, because the high school they wanted me to go to was like known for its like sports. Like they were really good, so they wanted me to go to a school that had like a lot of good, like, I don't know. It was just a good school, and so we moved out to Heartland. I was like, can I just start the next year? I'm like, you're really gonna start me like in April of like halfway through 5th grade? So I was the new kid, and yeah, it sucked at first, but I made a lot of new friends right away. So went to North Lake Middle School, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. Then I went to Arrowhead High School. And I didn't want to like keep playing football and stuff. Like my dad, he was more of like the sports guy because he played college football, so he wanted me to keep playing. I didn't really like football. I didn't like doing the 2-a-day practices. So I told him I was gonna quit, and he knew that I liked playing the drums and music. So he was like, "If you play football, I'll buy you a drum set." I'm like, "Hell yeah, for sure." So I played football. I made the A team. He bought me my first drum set when I was a freshman, so I love that. I kept playing hockey because I did like it. I made JV junior varsity my freshman year. That was fun, but the only thing that sucked was that we had practice before school. So I had to get up at 4:30 every morning to be on the ice by 5:30. We practiced 5:30 to 6:45, then had school from 7:30 to 3:30. I did okay in high school. I didn't fail. I passed. I have like major ADD, major ADHD, and I've had it since I was a kid, like diagnosed. So basically, I was put on all these different meds for like ADHD, like Adderall, Ritalin, and I didn't really like the way it made me feel. Like I was like, I didn't eat at all. That was the part I didn't like the most. So I got off of it like freshman year. Trying to think. Oh, rewind back to middle school. Like the first time I got into like big trouble was I was in like 7th grade. And I don't know if you or anyone used to watch the MTV show Jackass, but I was a fan of Jackass. Right. And one of the things that Chris Pontius used to do was the party boy. He'd go into the store, he'd blast the music, and so me and my friends did that. We didn't rip our clothes off or anything. We just did it as a joke. And this kid, he told the principal on us. And then it got serious when they pulled me in the office. I got suspended for 3 days. They tried to charge me with sexual harassment, and they were going to expel me for that.
Damn.
The kid's mom was going crazy. So that was like, fuck. I got out of it, though, so that was lucky. And then I just kept doing stupid, dumb shit. Like sophomore year of high school, choir room, we had a thing where we had to sell cookie dough. So there was all these boxes of cookie dough that came delivered, and my friend, he was like, hey, go bust open that box and put some in our backpack. I'm like, you think I'm stupid? I'm not going to do that. He's like, all right, well, distract the teachers while we do it. So I'm sitting there distracting the teachers while they're in the back stealing these giant tubs of cookie dough that are like this big. And I'm like, they're going to notice, you idiots, but whatever. I was young and dumb. All the freshmen ratted us out. We got suspended. Cops came to my house and everything, and they gave me a 3-day out-of-school suspension. So I don't know how that is supposed to be a punishment. I took it as like a vacation. But
yeah.
So that happened, and then let's see. So, I didn't really do drugs through high school. I started smoking weed like 8th grade summer into freshman year. So that's when I kind of smoked through high school, and then they started doing random drug testing at my high school. But it was weird. They only would drug test the people who were in like activities like sports or like chess club or whatever. So if you were just like a burnout or like a drug addict and didn't do shit, you didn't have to worry about getting drug tested. So I think I kind of stopped smoking my senior year because I didn't want to get in trouble. We ended up winning the state championship. So it was after that where I just like let loose basically. And I was like, all right, here we go. Started smoking before, during, after school, leaving school. I also had like a random psychedelic phase my senior year where I did like mushrooms. I sold mushrooms. I did like DMT, research chemicals, 2CE, 2CB, stuff like that. And then it just started to get scary when like I would have like these like 16-hour trips. I'm like, when is this shit gonna end? So I stopped doing that. Barely graduated high school. And so that now this is when like the hard drugs started. Is that cool to start talking about that?
Yeah.
Now? All right. So yeah, I was like graduated high school. I barely passed. And what did I do? Oh yeah, I worked at the state fair and I got like my first like check. I was like, all right, I'm gonna buy like an ounce of weed. So I knew this dude who could get me like cheap weed that was really good. I started selling, and I met my drug dealer who eventually introduced me or had me come into his apartment, and we became friends. And one day he he had me come into his room, and he was like, "Hey, have you ever tried this before?" I was like, "What is it?" And it was oxycodone. I just remember he had like this big pile of blue powder crushed up on his dresser in his closet, and I took the littlest, tiniest bump off of a guitar pick, and I
Wow.
was gone, done.
Yeah.
Eyes rolling in the back of my head, throwing up because I had no tolerance to any opiates. That was my first time doing opiates. I was like 18. So I hated it. That first night, I was so sick. Driving home, I almost died because that was the first time I experienced like nodding out. I didn't know what was going on because like I couldn't control it. I
Yeah.
tried blasting the music, rolling the windows down, and I couldn't keep my eyes open. I'd wake up like almost in the ditch, and then it would scare the shit out of me. And then I would be awake for like 10 seconds, and then I'd nod again. I was like, oh, I'm never doing that again, you know? But of
Yeah.
course, addictive personality, they came around again. I tried them again, started to like them more and more. Then I'm like, all right, I got to get a job because people are going to start to get suspicious that I have all this money and I'm not even working. So I got a job working in the kitchen. Um, so I was like, I'll just fucking save, or I'll just put all the money I'm making from work like into the bank, and then I'll use the drug dealing money for spending money, or vice versa. So then I was like, all right, I'm never going to do these drugs at work. Never. I'm like, I'll do it before work, after work. Well, that lasted like a week. And then before I know it, I'm doing it before work, during work, at work, on my break, you know, all day, every day. And then it wasn't until I actually left to go on a vacation with my friends, like up north. We went to the UP, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. We went snowboarding, and I started to feel like sick, and I was like, my body's aching. I'm like, what the fuck? I called my friend. I'm like, what is going on? Like, why am I feeling like this? He's like,
Right.
oh, you're going through withdrawals. You're kicking. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then he like explained it to me. He's like, you're dope sick. I'm like, what? I was like, holy shit, that was not fun. So now I know that like I need this shit to survive, but I still didn't think I was an addict because I was going to work. I didn't get in trouble with the law or anything yet. I'm trying to think. Yeah, so then we got lazy and stupid. We started selling, both of us selling out of his apartment. We used to always go and meet people places, at like Walgreens or different like places, but then we just had everyone start coming to his apartment. So I had all my people coming and going. He had all his people coming and going. Eventually, the neighbors got suspicious. They called the cops, and so he was outside, and I got a text from him saying, "Flush everything." I'm like, "Are
Oh
you fucking
no.
kidding me? We have like 4 bongs, like all this paraphernalia, all these drugs." And I'm like, "There's no way!" Like tons and tons. And I think someone left the door open, and a cop kind of peeked his eye in, and he saw. So that's when he fucking saw everything, and he pulled us all out, and we had to sit there in handcuffs for like 3-4 hours while they got a warrant on like a Friday night, and they tore the whole place apart. They like smashed my friend's PlayStation. They took the cereal boxes, emptied everything. It looked like a tornado came through that place. And the my friend, he like took all the heat. That was crazy. So I didn't get in trouble there. Obviously, I just kept using harder and harder. Eventually, I was doing like 730s a day, I think it was, and the 30s were anywhere from $20 to $25 at the time. So that was a pretty expensive habit.
Yeah.
So it came to the point where even working and selling, I couldn't keep up with my habits. So I ended up going to rehab, and so yeah, first time I went to rehab, I detoxed. I didn't get on Suboxone or anything. I didn't know what it was yet, and I pretty much did it like cold turkey, and like the meds they put me on with like trazodone and clonidine. That was about it. So I made it like a month then. Oh yeah, I got out and I was like, you know what? They're trying to set me up with like, I didn't know shit about recovery. They're trying to set me up with IOP and go to these meetings and I'm like, you guys are crazy. I'm fucking cured, you
Yeah.
know? I just went to rehab, detox. I am done, you know? I was like, I can just smoke and just fucking be a drug dealer. That's it. And yeah, that lasted like a month. And yeah, so then I ended up getting set up by my best friend at the time. He set me up when he was wearing a wire, turned me in,
Wow. Really?
and what?
Why?
I don't know, man. He got caught and he snitched me out. We were sitting at work eating, and all right, so check this out. So I always think I'm smarter and above the law, always when I was using and stuff. So I actually ended up getting caught first. I got pulled over. That's what it was. I was going to his house and I got pulled over, and they searched my car and they found all the shit, and they were gonna hit me with all these felonies and stuff. They offered me to work for them. So I thought I was smarter. I'm like, yeah, I'll work for you guys. But in the back of my head, I'm like, I'm not going to fucking turn anyone in. So every time this detective would try to like hit me up and like set up a deal, I would always just say that he's out, he's out, he's out. He doesn't have anything. He's not answering his phone. And I just thought that that would work and the charges would just go away. Well, eventually then my friend gets caught and then he sets me up. And so this detective texts me while I'm at work with him. He's like, hey, are you at work right now? And I just had a bad feeling. Like, I just knew something horrible was about to happen. And sure shit, like 5 minutes later, him and like 3 other detectives and like 4 cops come walking into my work. And we were in the first booth. They walked right past us. And I slid into the bathroom, tried to start flushing stuff. And the detective came in. And he just knew everything. He started saying all this shit. I heard we missed a £1/4 pound in your trunk when we pulled you over. I heard this, this, and that. And I just didn't even know what to say because I'm like, how does he know all this stuff? The only person I told was my friend. So I knew right away he was the one. And my attorney found that out. So since I fucked them over from the first time and I got caught this time, they hit me with everything. 3 felonies and 4 misdemeanors. And
Wow.
made the front page of the newspaper. I was 19 at the time. I think, yeah, 19. I ended up doing a year in jail and 3 years probation. So that just sucked.
Yeah, it does.
Um,
Probation is awful, man.
yeah, and they just set you up like the system, like
Yeah.
it's set up to fail, literally. Because like I was with a girl and she found my needles and stuff, and she's like, I'm gonna call your PO. Like someone can just call your PO and say
Yep.
whatever the hell they want, and that's it. So all right, so I started doing like treatment and stuff, and then what happened? I got out and I went to go relapse, and there was no pills around. So then my friend was like, hey, this stuff is the same, pretty much. It's cheaper, it's better. Is H, and he's like, "You want to just try it?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And I snorted it for about a week, and then my other friend was like, "Oh, you're wasting it," so she shot me up. That was it. Next 10 years, IVH. I said I would never touch needles ever. That
I
was a
said the
lie.
same thing. I
Yeah.
said the same thing.
Yep. Said I'd never touch needles, so that was a lie. And then, yeah, like my parents started to get real suspicious. Like they were dumb in the beginning. Like they found a bag of like a freezer Ziploc bag of needles. What are these? Oh, you know what? Actually, if you collect them and you turn them in, this place gives you money for them. She's like, oh, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, that's why I just collect these needles. I told her that I collect these needles and you turn them in for money, and she believed me at first. But then she kept finding more and more, and then she saw my arms and they knew that I was lying. So yeah, just that's when all the lying, and then it started to get worse. The stealing, the pawning, everything. I stole and pawned all my mom's jewelry. Her Probably the worst thing I did was I pawned her wedding ring twice. First time I got $100 for it, then she had to pay for it to get it back. Second time I got $800 for it. She had to pay to get it back again. Then I took her 15-year anniversary ring when I was so sick. I went from place to place, and they all wanted to do, what's it called? Where they like look at it, appraisal. They wanted to do an appraisal. I'm like, no, I can't fucking wait. I need cash right now. So I went to a place that offered me $100 cash on the spot and took it. And since I sold it, I couldn't get it back. So that, and then her grandmother's ring I took and I sold it. I thought it was just a piece of fucking shitty metal, but I didn't know it was her grandmother's ring. And I sold that for $15, and that was gas money to get down to the hood that day. So that kind of sucks, but you know, eventually she ended up saying like, they're just things, they're replaceable. You can't be replaced, so it's fine.
That's right.
Yeah.
They love
you.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. So, jobs, I just kept getting fired from jobs from nodding out and stuff, and in and out of rehab, relapse. Yeah, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And it literally does. It picks up where you left off last time and gets worse. It's never like you start over from the beginning. So, yeah, that just kept getting worse and worse. And then eventually I ended up going out to California in 2015. So 2015, I was like, I'm getting out of here. My high school friend ended up going out there for rehab. She was like, when you're ready to get clean, come out here. She met a guy, and they're like the good people. They're not like that Richie dude who's just like a headhunter and gets people in for money, and that's all they fucking care about. Like they're actually good people, and they so they helped get me out there. Like they scholarshiped me, they flew me out. And where did I go? Oh yeah, so I landed in Palm Springs. Right away, I started getting dope sick. It was like 120 degrees. And then I detoxed in this fucking shitty tweaker town, Hemet, California, which is where Renee lives.
Yes, I was just going to say that. I've heard her say that so many times.
Isn't that funny? Yeah, so I detoxed at Hemet Valley Recovery Center. I was there for a week. And that was shitty because they put me on Suboxone. Rewind. I got put on Suboxone in like 2012. So I was on it 2012, 13, 14, 15, about 4 years, but I never really used it because I wasn't ready to get sober. I just always sold my script. Right. So I wasn't ready to be sober. So I'm out there and they put me on Suboxone, but they weren't tapering me. It was just the same dose. Then the night before I go to residential, they're like, you can't take this anymore. I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, you're going to residential. I'm like, so you're just going to keep me on 8 milligrams a day and then just cut me off cold turkey? Really? Like, now I'm just going to start my detox all over again.
Right.
So that sucked. So that was kind of pointless that I even went there. But I was just happy to get out of that hospital. So I was going to Palm Springs. They picked me up in this giant druggy buggy, like a 15-passenger black van, yellow letters, big writing, plasters on both sides. Recovery now, all states, nationwide, call this number. And it was kind of cool just like riding through the mountains and stuff, because that was like the first time besides going to Disneyland that I'd been to California. So, and then I get there, it was an old rundown hotel, and I didn't think, it wasn't what I pictured it to be like, because there was guys and girls, it was co-ed, they were all swimming, it looked like a fucking party. That's what it was. That place was a shit show. Literally, they hired clients on to work there after being like 90 days sober. Like they had this fucked up shit where after you get 30 days, you can intern, but you don't get paid. You just work for free. And that place was just like a scam. Like yeah,
that sounds like Graceland Ranch. That's like what they're doing.
Oh, yeah, that place is sketch.
That's what they're doing. They have the kids, like that guy, Jordan, is like a house person, and then the other girl is like taking phone calls, and they've been sober like less than, whatever. Anyways, that's like not...
Yeah, there's so many places like that.
What did you learn there? Did you learn anything there?
Nothing. I didn't learn a damn thing. You know what I did? I slept around with girls there, and I ended up meeting a girl, and we dated for the next 3 years. I'm surprised we lasted that long. But that's all I was doing, was just like fucking around. I kept using, it was like a party, literally. I I kept using. I got hooked on meth out there. That was great. So 4th night there, I found H. And this is the whole addict like mindset. Like, someone told the wrong person, and the entire rehab knew within like 2 minutes that there was H in there. And that was the first time I did black tar, because that's what they have on the West Coast. It's not like the shit that we have here. So the workers came up to us and said, hey, you know, everybody's getting drug tested tomorrow. You guys don't have any drugs in here, do you? We're like, nope. So knowing that we were going to get drug tested, we still did it, because I was like, fuck it. We already have it, you know? Whatever happens, happens. Right. That's what I used to always say. That was like my famous last words. Fuck it. Whatever happens, happens. Now I don't do that anymore. But luckily they gave me a second chance, so I had to start my days over. You know what? The only reason I did it was because I was still detoxing from Hemet. And I told myself, I was like, hey, I just want to get a good night's sleep for at least one night. That's all I wanted, was a good night's sleep. I was like, at least I'll get a good night's sleep tonight. So that's why I did it. But then I felt even shittier. So then started the days over, on to day 12, 13, hanging out with this kid who, he was always depressed. He never went to group, but he was really like, we connected. And we were this close to just walking out the front door. We had our bags packed. I was like, dude, once you walk out, we can't leave. Like, I'm not even from here. So I was like, maybe that's not a good idea. So we jumped out my bathroom window after like lockdown, or not lockdown, like whatever, 11 midnight. And we walked down to the Burger King. That's where all the tweakers hang out. And couldn't find any H, but we got meth. And yeah, so we did a bunch of meth that night. And I just felt horrible, because I was talking his ear off for like 6 hours, to the point where it was 7 a.m. and we had morning group. I thought it was like 2 a.m. And they choose someone and 2 other people to run the morning group. So I was president that week. So I had to like read all this shit in front of the rest of the rehab while I'm like completely twacked out of my mind. Yeah. That was very uncomfortable. So I just kept fucking up. I just kept relapsing. I went to 10 different places when I was out there in the year. So I was just relapse, go to a different place. Relapse, go to a different place. Do meth, do H, do meth, do H. And I just like, I didn't take it serious. I took it as like a party. Yeah. So that did not go over well. I met that girl, like I said. We were out there for a year. And then the last place that we were at, that place was even sketchier. Like the owners, they were loaded. They were both on meth and H. They didn't even have any money. Like my ex-girlfriend's sponsor, she had a job there, and her last check, it bounced. Yeah. Because they didn't have any money. And he would always talk so much shit. Like, he works for Penske, and he used to talk about how he ran the yard when he was in prison, and how he has all this money because he lives in Laguna Niguel. And I'm like, dude, that's not even your money. Like, you don't have shit. And yeah, that place was fucking sketch, because that was the place that got me hooked on all these different meds. They saw this doctor. His name was Dr. Van Dyke. He's the dirtiest doctor I've ever met. Check this out. We go into his office. This big, fat dude. He's like pretty overweight, like probably 350. His shorts were jacked so high that his little chode was hanging out of his shorts, and he didn't even know it. He's fucking covered in sweat. He's got like 8 or 10 pill bottles just sitting behind him, and he's just like talking like this. And I was just like, so someone told me, you can just say whatever you want and he'll put you on it. I was like, yeah, I want to be on Suboxone. He's like, yeah, Suboxone's good. And he put me on Subutex. I'm like, dude, I am not a pregnant woman or girl. So he put me on Subutex, the one without the blocker. So he put me on Subutex. Check this out. He put me on 2 milligram clonazepam twice a day and 10 milligrams of Valium twice a day.
Renee's
both
here.
Of those. Renee.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hey guys.
What's
hey
up,
girl.
Renee? Hell yeah. We were just talking about Hemet, California, where I detoxed. But yeah, so I got hooked on all these meds, like all these benzos. That's when I started my benzo addiction, because I would take like fucking 10 or 20 of those Valiums at once, and then I would run out of my prescription, and those withdrawals were fucking horrible too.
Yeah.
So finally, after the year, I call my mom and I tell her, I'm like, hey, I'm a year sober. I did it. We graduated the program. There's nowhere else for us to go. Can me and my girlfriend that I met out here in California, who you've never met, who's also a recovering heroin addict, drive back to Wisconsin and live with you guys until we get on our feet? And she said, sure. I was like, wow. She said, sure. And yeah, so we drove back to Milwaukee. We made it. We ended up getting back on Suboxone on the way back because we wanted to go back clean, because we were using. So like on the way back, we kind of detoxed and got back on Suboxone, and we got clean. And yeah, we made it back here. And yeah, she ended up staying sober pretty much the whole time. She was younger than me. Like I was 25 at the time, and she was like 19 or something. So I just kept relapsing, going back to rehab and stuff. We ended up getting our own place. And then it's like when she turned 21, she became this crazy like alcoholic. Like she just swapped H for drinking. So like every night she would just slam like 8, 9, 10 shots of Jack Daniels. And then like it turned into me babysitting. So I just kept wanting to use because I didn't want to deal with that shit. Yeah, it sucked. So, oh yeah, and then like the other thing that I pawned was my drum set, the one my dad got me. I was so dope sick. I tried to tell my mom that I owed this drug dealer $350, and if she didn't give me money to pay him, he was going to come to our house and kill our entire family. And that didn't work because she knew my little tricks by now, but it still scared her. So like 3 days later, she was like, all right, let's go sell your drum set and pay this guy back. Because I really did owe a drug dealer that much money. But I was like, okay, I'm not going to sell my drum set, pay this guy back, and still be sick. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to call a different guy. Hey, can I come through for this much? They gave me $150 for my drum set. It was like a $4,000 drum set. But I was so desperate and so sick that I did not fucking care. Someone said, what clinic are you at now? I go to Clean Slate. It's a really good place. Clean Slate, they set you up for success. But yeah, so, you know, just all that shit. But the thing is, like, I always, like, most of the time I lived at home because I didn't have to pay rent, and my parents didn't charge me rent. Because, like, you know, when you're in active addiction, like, the less amount of bills you have, the more money for drugs, right? Mm-hmm. So my mom used to do crazy shit. Like she would track me when I was down in the hood. She would go down there and try and find me. She would call drug dealers and like tell them I'm gonna fucking call the cops on you and shit. Like she didn't care. She was ruthless, but everything she tried, it still didn't scare me. It wasn't enough. So yeah, just fast forward, kept using or whatever. Eventually I split up with Rachel because she like cheated on me after 3 years or whatever. I was like, that's your fault. You know, you're stuck in Wisconsin from California. You don't know anybody because you're an idiot because you decided to cheat on me. So that's what you got. Left her. And another thing that I think I kept using, I just thought of this the other day. So then like, I don't know. So like I kept going on these dating apps like Tinder and Bumble. And, like, I just kept matching with all these girls. And, like, I always thought that I had to be fucked up when I went on these dates. So, like, I'd go on these dates all the time. And I'm like, all right, I have to get fucked up. So then I take, like, a shit ton of, like, Xanax or meth, H, mix it all together. And I thought, like, it would make me funnier. I thought it would make me more, like, you know, like, talk more, stuff like that.
Yeah.
What time is it, by the way? I'm just curious.
It's just 8:07.
8:07.
But when you were doing that and you were meeting up with the girls, like, were the dates going good, or were you totally fucking them up?
See, some of them I thought were going good, but then I got like here's a funny one. So
I was the same way. I thought when I used drugs that it made me more fun. I felt like I
yeah,
had more energy. I felt like I looked
yeah,
skinnier. I just felt like drugs gave me an advantage. You know what I mean?
hmm
Because I
yeah,
felt like I didn't feel good about me.
right.
You know?
Yeah, same here. The same exact way. Even oh my god, that just reminds me of another thing. So I had to go. So in here in Wisconsin, in Waukesha County, we have the Waukesha County Jail and we have the Waukesha County Huber facility. The Huber facility, it's the same thing as jail, but you get to leave for work release. So it's for people who have like jobs and stuff like that. So I had a job, and I don't know why they had these rules, but if you had a job and were employed, you were allowed to take Suboxone in Huber because you're getting your medication through your provider. If you don't have a job, you have to get meds through them, who they get through the county, and they won't get you Suboxone. So the only way you can have Suboxone is if you're employed. So I was employed, everything was going fine until I got laid off my job. Then they're like, you can't take this anymore. I'm like, you can't cut me off cold turkey, dude. I'm
Yeah.
on 16 milligrams a day. So I started a withdrawal. I called my mom. Luckily, I had like another script or something at home. I made her come visit me. Luckily, this was in like 2012 or 2012 when we still had visiting in person. She came and she brought it to me. I'm lucky I didn't get in trouble for this or they didn't see. I took the whole like box, went into the bathroom, and I fucking shoved the strips up my ass and I got it in. Oh yeah. Yep. Got him in there. And there's this one dude who always just liked taking subs better. So I would trade subs for like H or like pills or something. And so I got laid off. So then they give you a month to get a job. There's this place called Quad Graphics. It's a printing company. Nobody likes to work there except for fucking criminals and shit like that because they're hard workers. So all these people there are working at Quad Graphics. So I'm like, all right, I'll apply there, get an interview. I get hired on the spot. So they're like, all right, you just got to go next door to Quad Med, take your drug test, and you're good. I'm like, sweet, because I was clean. Like, all right, you know what? I deserve to celebrate. So I texted my dealer. I'm like, can you bring some shit? Leave it in my car. I'll pay you extra. She drove, left it in my car. After I took the drug test at Quad Med, I had shit to celebrate. I did it. I'm like, woo, I just got a job. It's time to celebrate, you know? I get back to Huber.
The same way. Me and my husband would do the same thing. We would get something good would happen and we would feel like, yes, we did so good. We got the job. We passed the drug test. We did this. We did that. Let's go celebrate. And then that would ruin everything.
Yeah, you deserve a little something because you just did something good. That's so ass backwards, but I thought the same way. And of course, I get back to Huber that night. What happens? That night, they random drug test me. I'm like, oh my God. I tried everything in my power to get out of it. I was like, I have a bladder issue where I can't go to the bathroom. I tried all this shit. They're like, well, drink water. So then I'm like, okay, I'll just dilute it. I tried drinking a shit ton of water, but you really have to drink a lot of water to dilute it. And they only allowed me like 3 cups. So I was just like, fuck it. I already know I'm busted. So before I went down there, I hid the drugs up my ass again because I knew that they were going to find them. So I failed. They made me go in a holding cell. They strip searched me. They didn't find it. I failed for Suboxone because technically I wasn't supposed to be taking it. Right. Because, you know, they took me off of it or whatever. So I failed for Suboxone and like opiates or whatever. So then they send me back to the county jail, put me on a 19-day cell restriction, locked down in my cell 23 hours a day for 19 days while detoxing cold turkey from subs. Damn. So that was just fucking hell. Like I was in my tiny cell detoxing cold turkey. They only let me out 30 minutes for lunch, 30 minutes for dinner. sometimes longer on shower days. Shower days were Monday, Wednesday, Friday in my pod from second shift. So from like 3:30 till 10 or 10:30. Those were the days that we could shower. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3:30 to 10:30. That's it. And I was in there for my birthday, Christmas, New Year's, lockdown. I felt so alone. I was like, fuck. And yeah, that sucked. So then I'm kind of like going back and forth. I know.
I went to prison, and when I went to prison, I was there for a year, and I remember my mom and dad visiting me on Saturdays, and it was the worst. Like, it was the worst, man. Being locked up and not having your freedom is the worst.
It is. That's what I just said the other day. Like, now I just cherish the little things, like being able to eat whatever I want, shower when I want, sleep in my own bed, just like little things like that.
Come on, baby.
But yeah, so that was just fucking hell. Like, if I could have been out talking to other people, walking laps around the pod, shooting the shit, I think it would have been okay. But since like I was all alone in my cell, that's what made it 10 times worse. Plus I couldn't sleep. I didn't sleep for a month. So that just sucks. So then I'm like, shit, I'm still in probation. So my PO comes up and he was going to revoke me. And I was like, no, please, I need treatment. Just send me to a halfway house. And he did. He listened. He got it approved. So the day I got released from jail, I had to go to a halfway house, 90 days. And it was all people either on probation or parole, like prison release. People that got released from like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-year bids, and they had to do that program. So they went straight there. Like my roommate, he came straight from prison. And I did good there. Like I completed it. So I was sober like about 6 months or so. But if you fail a drug test there, they don't give you any second chances because you're on probation or parole. So they call the cops right away. So all these people that failed their drug tests, they would just grab a few things and just book it out the front door, gone. Then they're on the run because they didn't want to go back to jail. They were like,
I think if a person if they mess up and they fail, like we need to work with them and give them chances to get better because it's not easy to stay sober. That's why I don't believe in like shaming people for episodes of use. That's why like, I tell people like if you pick up one time and you like know it was a mistake, you get back on track and you shake it off. Like I don't believe in like punishing people and making them start their time over. Like I think that's shameful and that makes more people ashamed.
That makes it worse.
Yes.
And it's just gonna make you want to use more. I totally agree. And I don't believe in sending people to prison who are fucking just drug addicts. They need treatment. That's why our system is so fucked. But that's what I really like about this peer support specialist thing, because they told me there's 2 different programs. There's one program where I'll be working with adults who are already sober, but just like need help with stuff like mental health or whatever. But then there's another group that they warned me about where they're still in active addiction, but we're gonna try and get them to go to detox, go to IOP, go to PHP, go to residential, stuff like that. So they're like, I just want to like let you know and make sure that, you know, if you're okay with that. And I'm like, yeah, that's totally fine. Like, that would be great.
Love that. Like, that is like a dream to me. I love working with people that are actively using. I love sitting down and talking to people that are like high and they feel like they're hopeless and that there's no way out. And I love sitting there and being like, yo, I was right where you were at one time and look at where I'm at now. Like I used to think that I would never be able to get sober, and I for sure as hell didn't think I could help anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
So
totally.
That's why so much fun.
Yeah. That's why when they asked me that, they're like, would you be down? I'm like, hell yeah. Like I'd be down to do both for sure. I didn't even know that was like an option. So that's super cool. So now I guess talk about like what it's like, I guess, being sober.
So how did you get into the Suboxone clinic that you're in now?
Oh, right. So actually I found out about it from someone that I was in jail. Okay, one more quick story about, I was actually sober. So last year, 2 weeks before Halloween, I got sentenced for my second OWI. This case went on for 15 months. I just wanted it over with because of COVID and my blood results. My blood test results took a year to come back. So, yeah, so I just wanted to get it over with, you know? So I got sentenced, and my sentence was she took my license away for a year and then 25 days in the county jail. And I'm like, shit, I don't have a job. They don't give you subs in the county jail. I was like, I'm going to have to smuggle my subs in there. And that's what I did. I had to smuggle my own subs in there because I'm like, I am not going to go fucking sick and do this shit cold turkey.
Right.
And they already fucked me with my other meds. They told me, hey, bring your meds in. I'm like, okay, I bring my meds in. What do? They take them and they lock them up. Oh, you're not working, so you can't take your meds. We have to order your meds through the county, and that's how you have to take them. Don't worry, they'll be here tomorrow. It took 5 days for my meds to get there. And I started to feel like brain zaps, like shocking. That was from the Effexor.
Yep.
I'm on the highest dose, 225 milligrams. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, why do I feel like I'm getting zapped and being electrocuted? And I'm like, that's from not taking that. You can't just be on the highest dose of an antidepressant and then just not take it. So they fucked me for 5 days. I was pretty miserable. So luckily they, whatever, I got away. I got my subs in there and I was fine. So it just sucks. You have to do that. I'm like, dude. Yeah. So they're changing it now, I'm pretty sure. But, where was I going with that fucking story? There was something where I was going with. Oh, yeah. So when I was in there, someone told me about this place. He's like, hey, there's this place called Clean Slate. Because when I got new insurance, I had to find a new place. So I called Clean Slate. And they are all over the world, I guess. They're not just here in Wisconsin. And they're like, if you're actually like serious about being on MAT and like ready to be sober, like this place is the best. They set you up for success. Like you have to go through the program. Like you start off with weekly scripts. So they give you a week's worth. You have to save all your wrappers to make sure you're not selling them, even though I could just take them out and sell them. But that's just addict thinking. I don't sell my script. But I even said that. I'm like, wait, I could just take them out and still, but I don't sell them. I need all mine, obviously. But then you just like work your way up. So then I went to bi-weekly, and then literally right before I told her I was hitting a year sober, she was like, congrats, now you can go to monthly. So now I go to monthly. They drug test you every time to make sure you're clean. I've never failed a test. I've only failed, actually 2 came back positive for CBD, so I just stopped taking it, unfortunately, because it was helping me sleep. But I just got put on trazodone, and I got put on buspirone. I made a video about it, and everyone had good things to say about it, so hopefully it'll work out good. But yeah, the place is called Clean Slate, so it's really good. I recommend it for sure. And if you have state insurance, it takes it, and I don't have to pay anything.
Yeah, that's awesome. Damn. See, I didn't have that here in Arkansas. Me and my husband both got on Suboxone, and we had to pay $200 a piece, you know? So that's $400 a month. Now it's gone down because he goes to a different clinic than I do, and I'm on quarterly. Mm-hmm. So I only have to go every 3 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I bumped it up to go monthly, but I'm still on quarterly. I just go monthly now because I'm tapering him, and I've gotten down so low. So next month I'm going to go down to 0.5.
Wow. How's it going with that?
Now it's going good. It was really hard. The first time when I dropped from 2 to 1, that was kind of a big drop. I shouldn't have done that. I should have done a half a milligram. But it's okay now.
Yeah. But yeah, you got through it, so that's good.
Yeah. I'm so proud of you, dude. Like, so now, like, you do TikTok, and like you said, you got your peer certification, and you just got a job that you applied to, that you did an interview for. So you're like, got your first year sober, and you're getting ready to give back to be able to help others.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it took 30 years to fucking figure out what I wanted to do in life, but I finally figured it out. Like, everyone has been asking me, like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I don't know what I want to fucking do, you know? like I'd love to play drums in a band, but the likelihood of that happening, it's slim to none, because it's hard to make it as a musician. You have to be really good, and you have to find other members who are really good. So once you recommended this, I was like, thank you so much, because you really got the ball rolling. And now there's like so many possibilities. Like there's so many different things you can do in the recovery world. Like there's counselor, I've always wondered this though. What is the difference between a counselor and a therapist? Is it the same thing or is it different?
I think it's different, because I think a certified alcohol and drug counselor is like you don't have to take as many hours or as many courses as a person who's like a therapist. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like I think a therapist is like psychology.
I think counselors are more people that work in like a residential like rehab kind of thing, and therapists can be like private practices, or they can kind of have their own private practices or whatever. Someone that you see. I used to see a therapist, but yeah, I mean, she definitely helped me in my first probably 6 months of sobriety. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I was in therapy. I still do therapy, and I've been doing it for like 5.5 years, and it helps me a lot.
That's great. Yeah.
We're trying, but that's what we're trying to do. Like, so you're able to get your peer, like, if you're a person and you're in recovery and you want to be able to help people, like, you guys can like go and become peer specialists. You can go back to college. You can do like what I'm doing and get into social media and work with like a treatment center or a doctor, like I do with Dr. B. These are all ways that you guys can make a living doing recovery, you know? Because a lot of us have felonies. You've been to jail and prison a lot, you know? And so this is like a way for you to make an honest living.
Yeah, exactly. And these places, like, they kind of look past like your history. Like I've never had like this job interview was so different. It was like literally kind of like what I'm doing right now, just like telling my story. I felt so comfortable. Like I've never gone into an interview saying like, yeah, you know, I lost my license for the year, you know, for a year. I'm a drug addict. I use for, you know, I've never been like so like, you know, been so honest about like my addiction in past ever. And they like thank me for it. They're like, thank you so much for being so honest and for sharing your story. I was like, wow, like it's cool.
It's because that's you're literally going to get paid to share what your experience, peer to peer. You know, that's what you're going to get paid to do. So the more experience you have, the more people you can help.
And they even, it's a salary too. I've never had a salary. They're like, so within a week, someone's going to call you and offer you a number for salary and full health, full benefits too. Health insurance, dental, vision, 402 something. It's not 401k. It's similar to that, but it's called something else. Pension, all that shit. It's crazy.
Yep, so, I'm proud of you. That would be cool. I'm proud of you. This is next step. This is the next step. This is going to take you to the next level. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's what I love about TikTok too. You know, like none of this would have been possible if I hadn't met you and, you know, all these other cool people on TikTok. Like everybody's so nice, not judgmental, and we can all connect and help each other and support each other and just be there. And that's what's so cool about TikTok.
Yes, I love it. I love TikTok. Whenever I love when people, that's what I want. I want it to always be like that, for us all to be helping each other and encouraging each other and supporting each other and like giving each other ideas. I was thinking I was going to reach out to you. I want to do like a collaboration between like a bunch of us, where we make a video, we put it together and like share like why we got sober or something like that. I'm trying to think of an idea, but I was
I've been seeing
you, me, Renee, April from APTV, just a bunch of people.
Hell yeah. I've been seeing like that sober comedy dude like doing videos like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where it'll be like 5 different people like, I did this, and then they go like that, and then the next person comes in, and then, you know, they do like go like this, and then the next person comes in. Kind of like that.
Yeah. I think that would be cool.
That'd be really cool.
So, oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm really grateful for you coming and telling your story today.
Thank you
What
for having me.
I have to ask you, is it okay if I upload this video onto my YouTube channel?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, good. Now, what I want to do is when you get the job, because I know you're going to, I want you to come on and tell us about it. So
Okay, for sure.
text me on my phone in our group text or whatever, and let me
Yeah,
know, like, after you've worked there for like a month or so. I want you to come on and tell us like what you do, and like
yeah,
share some stories about stuff that you're doing to help people. Okay?
yeah, for sure. So then hopefully that'll like motivate other people to want to do it too, because it's freaking sweet. So if anyone who's listening, if you're like in recovery or whatever, if you want to do peer support, just Google whatever your state is. Like I did Wisconsin peer support specialist, and it comes up, and that would be sweet. That would be awesome to do that. So hell yeah. But yeah, thanks
One more
again
thing.
for having me.
If you could tell a person in the audience that's struggling in their addiction right now, if you could say one thing, what would you say to them?
I would say that you're not alone, and it's crazy to think that a year ago, I was in your place and I felt hopeless. I was a dope. No, what is it? I was a hopeless dope fiend. I thought I was gonna die an addict, but I know it may sound impossible, and I know a lot of people say it, but if I can do it, you guys can for sure. And literally take it one day at a time. I know like these cliches, but they actually work. Take it 1 hour at a time, and it's okay to not be okay. Just ask for help. There's so many people out there who love and care about you, and I know you guys can do this too. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Joel. Thank you so much. I'll holler at you later, okay? I'm going to upload this on YouTube.
Sounds good. Thanks, Nicole.
Bye. Love you.
Love you.
How did Joel do? I think he did very well. So, you guys, that's just a great example, okay, of like, I met Joel here on TikTok about 6 months ago, 7 months ago, 8 months ago, 9 months ago, 10, like a while ago. And he told me he wanted to work in recovery. And I was like, I got the perfect job for you, man. You know, and that we help each other. That's what we're supposed to do here in recovery. We're supposed to be here to support each other and help each other. You know, we're hard enough on ourselves. You know, we don't need people in the recovery community being hard on us. So I'm here to help anyone. If you need support, if you're trying to find where you want to get in and what kind of job you want to do, and you need suggestions or you need somebody to bounce ideas off of, reach out to me. I will help you in any way I can. I will suggest to you and show you the ways that I did things. Like, I'll do anything I can to support you guys in your sobriety. You know, as long as you're doing the right thing, I will be there to help you. Okay? If you fuck up, come to me, let me know I fucked up, and I'll help you get back up, okay? All I ask you to do is just be honest, you know? Just be honest. And you don't have to lie to me. You don't have to hide anything from me, okay? What I'm going to do is I am going to upload this video onto YouTube. For those of you guys that don't know, I have a YouTube channel. It's called Real Talk Recovery. So if you ever miss these live streams, you can check them out there, okay? Hey, Lindsay. Have to work the steps or have so many months or years of sobriety. Yes, I think in certain states they have like a minimum amount, like a year sober to be up here. I think in my state you have to have 2 years sober in Arkansas. So who? Let me see. My guy has such a testimony. So. Hey, Michelle. Michelle, I saw you commenting about your husband. You know, if your husband's in active addiction, we got to get him sober, girl. If he's ready to get sober, I know free places if y'all don't have insurance. I know a free place in Florida called St. Michael's Place in Naples, Florida. It's a year-long program, and they will take anybody. All you got to do is fill out the application. And then I know a lot of other places that are willing to scholarship people, you know. So you guys, to help somebody, they have to be willing to accept the help, okay? So we can like want them to get sober, and we can like tell them all about the amazing opportunities. We can bring treatment centers right to them. We can literally pay their way into recovery. But if they don't want to get sober, then we're just like wasting our time. So what we have to do is encourage them to get sober, encourage them to make changes, let them know that we're going to be there to support them no matter what. And a lot of the times, the best time to hit somebody up about getting sober is when they're in withdrawal, they ain't got no dope, they're feeling like shit. That's when you sit down and you talk to them and you let them know. Shannon's cousin OD'd. If your cousin OD'd, make sure that you have Narcan around your house, just to be on the safe side if that happens again, okay? But you guys, like I'm telling you, you have to just be there to support them. We can't make them get sober, you know. There are instances like where you can have a person committed against their will because they're a danger to themselves or others. But that's like, you have to go through the courts to do that, to have somebody, I think it's called Baker acted. The way you can help him is to be there to support him when he's ready to get sober. If he tells you, I'm ready to get sober, cousin, the way you can help him is get there, help him find a place to go, help him while he's in the treatment, help him when he gets out. Hannah, don't you love it? Isn't it the shit? Okay, y'all, let me end this live stream, and I'm going to start a new one because I want to upload this video, okay? I'm going to end this, and then I'll come right back on.